I went into a pet shop and asked if I could buy a goldfish. The bloke asked if I wanted an aquarium. I said, I don't care what star sign it is. Ladies, gentlemen, and variations thereupon, this is modern escapism. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Oodles, the one-man double act constantly at odds with himself. Together, we are the host of this show. Joining me, as always, the man that argues with himself and constantly punches mirrors, claiming he's the strongest in the room. It's Stig.
I am the strongest in any room. Hello.
This gentleman is one half down-to-earth Geordie and one half internet-based cloud-powered Cyberman. It's Gadget.
Yeah, that tracks. That's pretty accurate. Hello.
Okay. And what do you get if you add ultra-alpha qualities with sigma sexuality? It's the half-man, half-dildo Biggie.
I'll take that.
And this week, Candy is on a union-designated strike. And until we can reach terms that both parties are happy with, she'll be away. But we'll see her soon, don't you worry. Before we get into the show, please consider becoming one of our sexy and incredibly cool patrons to help us divide and conquer the podcasting world. Details are in our show note, but mainly check out our website, modernescapism.co.uk, for more exquisite content and links to everything we do. And now, it's time for everyone's favourite segment of the show. It's Biggie's Breaking News!
That's right, thank you. This just came in from earlier in the week. Sifu. I like the look of this. So, for those of you who've listened to the pod already, know
it's been out ages, mate.
Yeah, it's a few months. The beat 'em up, but streamer Rudism, I think his name is, known for making weird and wonderful controllers and does challenge run streams. He's created a motion controller for Sifu as his latest project, and he streamed the results. And yeah, he's just got this little setup where he wears two gloves that have motion sensors and a stick in each hand, and he's literally pulling off some punching moves. He's not actually doing every single move in the game, but the game's reacting. Looks really cool. It's in its early stages, but imagine that as a bit of a workout, because that game is
badass.
Tough.
That's badass. That like they could apply that to things like Tekken and other things as well. If it catches.
Could you imagine?
I'd love it.
I can imagine a lot of broken TVs
punches.
with that.
yeah, exactly.
Remember the rough days of the early Wii years when no one used the wrist strap. All those poor plasma TVs in 2008 dying for nothing.
Oh, we played the new Switch Sports the other week, and I was like, make sure that you have this strapped to your hand. And if you play with your friends, have it strapped to their wrists. If no one straps this to their wrist, they are not playing.
Too right.
This one has been debunked by Oodles already, but apparently Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, the Sith Lords, that was available on Steam, on Switch, apparently it had a game-breaking bug. If you were in a particular section, which was something to do with the game crashed after the Basilic crash cutscenes, pun not intended. When players arrived on Onderon, the game would crash. It took a player to get in contact with Aspire. Aspire? Is that the people that made it?
Yep.
To get them to actually confirm that this bug existed. It took a little while for them to actually confirm that, yes, it was there. Apparently, they've now come up with a way to get around it. But yeah, imagine that.
Which is very weird, a report when I got past that segment the day the game launched. It's not too far in. It's about 3-4 hours in, and I can do that in an evening.
It might be
not an issue.
Might be something.
It's to do with choices, though. That game, isn't it?
Yeah,
if I'd have made a different choice,
might be tied to certain choices. It might also be tied to certain Switch hardware. Like different chipset matches or something like that.
Yeah, I do have the newer Switch.
It did say it affected only a certain amount of players.
Yeah.
And it says that their workaround is apparently in the form of a dev warp, whatever that is, that bypasses the spot where the game crashes.
Yeah, that game's one of those old school CRPG games where they could easily insert an NPC to transport you to where they need you to go. You know, just say, follow me, and then fade to black, you're there. You could easily do it without any ramifications to the story. It's still a fantastic game, though. Love it.
Awesome. Somebody also has been tinkering away. Another YouTube channel, DIY Perks, specialised in building gadgets and tech. He created the very first PS5 Slim, which was only 2 centimeters.
I watched
in
this.
height.
He did the. It made
Set
it
on
brass,
fire.
didn't it?
Yeah.
It made out of brass. No, it's water cooled. He's got 2 big water valves that go into the back of it.
So it costs
fantastic.
more than a PS5 then.
Oh yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
You've got to get a PS5 first.
The majority of the PS5's bulk comes from steel shrouding and CPU cooling heatsinks. And with those gone, what he did was basically create a custom water channeling system made from copper sheeting. It wasn't cheap, costing an eye-watering $240 for the sheeting alone. But apparently it works. What you don't see is that the sizable internal power supply is a massive external power brick which is hidden around the side.
Yeah. He did what they do on the Xbox One. You know, the big chunker thing.
Oh, I remember them.
That sits outside, and sometimes you have to blow into them or you have to turn them off and let them power down and stuff like that. One of those. I hate those.
They were so annoying. The 360 had a
Awful.
big chunky one, didn't it?
Yeah.
As well.
Oh, well, yeah.
He did that on the PS5, but to say he did this alone, his design is absolutely stunning in comparison to what Sony's marketing team did or whatever. Because I prefer the PS5 dev kit over the PS5.
The biggest or tallest console, haven't you? To like the small compact, almost like a laptop closed, really, isn't it?
When he opened it up, there's a lot of empty room in there, and it is for ventilation. I get that.
Yeah.
And it is whisper quiet mine, so
Yeah, mine is too.
still fucking ugly.
Speaking of PlayStation, so of course we had the revamp of the PlayStation Plus came out. It surprised quite a lot of people actually because it wasn't very clear exactly what everybody was getting because they did it in stages. So it went Japan first, North America, and then Europe. But
different games.
yeah, you've also got that. But yeah, basically, in a nutshell, it roughly spans over 800 games if you pay for the PlayStation Plus Premium. So if you're new to PlayStation, this is probably one of the best deals ever, either the extra or the premium, because you've basically got a massive catalogue of games now that you may never have played. So I mean, it's outstanding value for that. And you can't really compare this to
it is, but over 200 of them you have to stream them, which is just pathetic. It's just pathetic. But I've got the trial of the middle tier, the extra tier it's called, and that it's got PS5 games that you can download. Like Miles Morales is on there. Some proper absolute bangers are on there, and the premium one with the premium ones with Demon's Souls on there with the premium one. It's just garbage. It's not enough to make you want. They've got Resident Evil Director's Cut, which is the original Resident Evil built from like reimagined, not reimagined. It's the same game but up-resed for the PS5, which is very odd that they're locking that one game that I'm kind of interested in the premium. I'm not down. If they start saying, look, we've got more PSP games on this now, I'll start thinking about it. But that extra tier is fine. It's only like a couple of quid more, and you're getting so many.
I think it represents
it's no Game
value
Pass
at the moment.
It's no Game Pass.
And I don't think it's really designed to be. I think Sony had to do something. And I think this is enough for the moment before they decide what they do for the future. I think it's a start.
When Stray comes out in a few months, or whenever it comes out, and that's on the premium one, I think we're all going to probably get that premium for a month.
That's why I'm saving. I'm saving my trial for that.
It's cheaper than the game.
Do it for free.
Because I think Sony have given you that option, haven't they? That you can upgrade at any point.
If I upgrade to premium now, because I got 3 months of that thingy due to a code, I can't remember what it was, a free trial then turned into a code, and I can upgrade for 3 months to the premium one for 20 pence. I must have accumulated something I don't understand. I don't get it. It's confusing. Maths confuses me. Yeah.
And then I have to make a choice.
But for Stray, it's going to be worth it for that month.
Well, the normal PlayStation Plus subscription is £50. The extra is £84, and for premium, it's £100 a year if you're paying for the full year as opposed to
I don't think I'd ever pay
monthly
anything
or
like that
quarterly.
yearly. I might be dead in a year. It's not worth it.
Yeah, interesting.
I pay monthly.
So you pay more.
Keeping my
Yeah, it
options
don't
open.
matter. Just in case.
We've had Glastonbury this week. It's not my sort of thing, but I thought there's a couple of
Mate.
interesting things that came out of it.
I've watched
Billie
some of it. It's
Eilish
been brilliant.
has
Billie
become the
Eilish.
Glastonbury Festival's youngest ever headline act, with the LA-born star performing on the Pyramid stage on Friday night. Paul McCartney was reunited with John Lennon via some tech with
By a necromancy.
He said, I'm going to do something you've never seen at
And he
Glastonbury
was going
before.
like, and he rose from the grave.
He actually it made Paul McCartney, so Billie Eilish was the youngest ever to perform. And
Paul McCartney's the oldest.
made
The
him the
oldest
oldest.
ever the same weekend, yeah.
I'll say it now, and I've seen a lot of people saying that on Twitter as well, and I'm not new for saying this. Billie Eilish fucking crushed.
Just
She
class.
was brilliant. I'm not a massive fan, but how subtle she is with her voice and how she can control, I don't know, 250,000 people with someone that she don't bellow songs out. She's not that. She's more subdued as an artist, isn't she? It's fucking. There was 3 of them on stage. That's it.
Yep.
It was fucking fantastic. You should watch that little mini concert of them. They're fucking brilliant. See how young she is as well. God, what have I achieved at life? Nothing.
Wolf Alice, again, another band I don't know. They managed to get to the stage finally after asking fans for a private jet to get them there after the LA flight was cancelled. And they made it.
Good.
But that's it, unless you guys have picked up anything else from Glastonbury. I don't really watch it. So.
Yeah, Paul McCartney's really good. Still, I don't know how he does it.
I haven't watched anything from it, but I was talking to someone this morning who'd been watching it. Apparently, when Noel Gallagher was playing, he played most of his set was like the High Flying Birds stuff, and not a single person knew any of the songs. And it wasn't the crowd didn't pick up until he played Oasis stuff.
Oh yeah. But when he does play it, he saves it to the very end, and he knows what he's doing because Liam Gallagher does the same when he does his own stuff. They both wait till the very end. Just get back together, boys. Come on now.
What's funny about them too is that they, when they both set off and did the solo stuff, they refused to play Oasis stuff.
Yeah.
And then Liam basically was like, well, fuck this. Might as well just play Oasis stuff and my stuff because people like it. And now Noel's started playing Oasis stuff as well because obviously he's seen that it works.
They should just get back together and just fucking ash it out, you know what I mean?
I think they'd rather stab each other first.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I honestly think it's mad to see that juxtaposition between Sir Paul McCartney and Billie Eilish. Just massive age gap. Both absolutely crushing the shit out of it. Fantastic. I'd love to have been there. I've been to Glastonbury a few times, but
I'd love to go.
That was. I was there for a fucking week, mate. I wanted to come home after. I was like, I'm gonna die here.
Do you know what really annoys me about people online when it comes to stuff like Glastonbury? Same with Leeds Festival and everything. Everyone goes, "Who are all these people?" Back when I went, it was these bands, and these bands.
Yeah, it's always contemporary, though.
Yeah, but I'm sure that the people who went to festivals in the 90s looked at the bands you were seeing in 99, 2000 and going, "Who the fuck are these?" Back in my day, I had these, and these. Like, I just don't get why people say that and do that. It's modern times. People, artists move on, music moves on. Like, sort of festivals.
I'd rather see Billie Eilish come in and crush it than watch Ozzy Osbourne scuff his lines for fucking 45 minutes again. Do you know what I mean? We've seen these, you know what I mean? But Paul McCartney's come out, he was fresh as a daisy, man. He is on some kind of elixir, that man. I'm telling you now. Really good.
Veganism.
That's the way.
Unless he died.
Don't. Next.
Guy Ritchie will be directing Disney's live-action Hercules, and I saw someone was trying to get Bruce Campbell to play the
Hades.
I think the character Hades. Thank you.
I'd be into
That'd
that.
work.
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell would be amazing at Hades.
Yeah, that would absolutely work.
It's a bit of an odd choice, but I guess because of the success of Aladdin. That's why they've gone with him. But
I need someone to chew the scenery, and that's what Campbell does on everything he ever does.
Yeah, I can only see them saying, "Oh well, Guy Ritchie directed Aladdin. Aladdin hit over $1 billion. It's a winning formula." But people didn't go to see Aladdin because it was a Guy Ritchie film.
No.
So
they went to see Will Smith.
It's Aladdin, isn't it?
It's Aladdin, one of the best Disney films ever.
It's got Will Smith in it, and it was just like, so it made it was always going to make money.
If they want to really make Hercules pop, they need to get ADs to be someone bigger than Bruce Campbell, I think.
Yeah, it won't be Bruce Campbell.
As Hercules.
Who?
Vinnie Jones.
Don't be ridiculous.
Although they need to bring Danny DeVito back for the.
I think they could do that for Phila TTs.
Yeah.
I think they could do that.
And they do need to keep the muses in there. I think with the singing and the moving. Doing the same thing with telling the story and moving it along, which I think they are doing. But
good.
Yeah, it would be.
So Disney just basically making live
Hercules
action movies of their back catalogue now.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? It makes money.
It makes money. Yeah, you don't need them, but it makes.
I quite liked
money.
I quite liked Aladdin, and I quite liked Lion King as well. Didn't love them. Never loved them.
Didn't like Lion King.
Didn't love Jungle Book. I just liked them.
I liked Jungle Book. Dumbo was all right. Beauty and the Beast was not good. Lion King was really soulless. I've said it before. The best live action one still is 101 Dalmatians from the 90s.
Yeah,
with Glenn Close. Yeah. That's actually a really good film.
It's a fantastic film.
Yeah, but all these other ones now are just don't hold. They just don't hold a candle.
I get what you mean though. There is a lot less soul to it. It is weird, isn't it?
Yeah, but the Lion King was literally. It was almost a shot-for-shot remake, and it was.
Yeah, but
they had
the
one
CGI,
scene
they were devoid
in it.
of character.
Yeah, they had one scene in it, which was live action, which was like a backdrop of something, and that's it. The rest of it, I mean, it's incredible CGI and incredible.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Work, but there's something about because they tried to make the lines real, and then the mouths move and talk like humans. It doesn't work.
It's just uncanny valley. It's just not.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Like cartoons, fine. You can do that with a cartoon. It's easy enough to do that.
And that Simba Nala scene where they're about to kiss is fucked up on the new on the live action one.
I mean, to be fair, it's fucked up on the cartoon.
It's fucked up in the cartoon one. She gives him the fuck me eyes big time.
Fuck me, Simba, right here in this Serengeti. Do it now.
Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna her tatas.
Exactly. Fucking dirty lions.
The title of
Any more?
And finally, Leia Seydoux is going to play Lady Margot in June Part 2.
I'm into this.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, so. I am. I think she's great.
She's awesome. I watched the film.
I know the actress. I don't know who the character.
Up.
So the character of Lady Margot, she's the wife of kind of someone who works with Baron Harkonnen within like the Grand Conspiracy. I don't want to kind of spoil anything, but you've got like kind of
it's a decent role.
Yeah, you've got this kind of like Lord guy that's doing a bit of bullshit with the Baron, but then Lady Margot's kind of doing her own thing around what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm into it.
I give June a release date expected. Is it 23 or 24?
It's start filming it yet, mate.
It's next year. The filming starts in the next couple of months.
Okay. But yeah, that's all I've got.
You got any news, Stig?
Just this one about Game of Thrones. Mainly it was just because I wanted to have a go at George R.R. Martin yet again. Doing side projects that aren't finishing his fucking books. It's confirmed that
he's just not got an ending for it.
I don't know what he's doing.
I reckon he's seen the way the TV show ended and goes, "Fuck that! I'm not releasing another book."
He's having to rewrite it because it's like that was my ending and people hated it.
Yeah, imagine if it was. Fuck.
To be honest, that's the ending of the show. Is part of it is kind of where I expected it to go anyway. It's just the way the show presented it that ruined it. So if George R. R. Martin is going to tell that same story, but he's managing to tell it and spread it across the last few books and slowly build to it, fine. It's just I'd really like that book, please, George.
Yeah, I would. The weird thing with that last season as well It was the book that I'm not going to say who, but who claimed the Iron Throne at the end was the book his favourite from the beginning. I'm like, how did you guess that? What insider knowledge do you have?
It just
messed up.
Doesn't it's shit if that's you can't end up on. No.
The thing with this Snow spin-off, focusing on Jon Snow.
Snow!
It's the most pointless thing because but at the end of the day, I don't think, like, maybe after the third or fourth season, Jon Snow became the least interesting character in Game of Thrones.
He wasn't a good character from the beginning. I never liked him.
Like,
I liked people around him.
Yeah, like he just seemed to be like this blank slate for the characters around him.
Yes. Remember that fight outside Winterfell? Fucking hell. When he stood up against the whole army. That was
Battle of the Bastards.
That was incredible.
Yeah. No, it was
one good episode.
I mean, his story was dull, is what I'm saying. Like, as a character, he's just not great. And when I read about it, it was like someone said, "Oh, Kit Harington's producing it," so I'm like, you can't get any work.
Yeah,
well, he's in Marvel. He's in MCU, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's going to be in the MCU. Guess everyone's in the MCU.
Everyone's in the MCU, and he's fucking playing Jon Snow effectively anyway.
He is.
So how far do you think
me and Stig have been invited into MCU, so we don't know who we're going to play yet, do we, Stig? But I'm thinking. I don't know. Like, I could be
Wonder Twins.
Yeah, that's all we could be in
DC,
it.
That, innit? That's DC.
Yeah, it don't matter, but they'll drag us in.
How far do you reckon George is with the final book?
It's never coming out.
He hasn't done chapter 1 yet, mate. He's waiting to die if he doesn't have to do it.
He's gonna let someone else finish it off, isn't he? Like Wheel of Time and Brandon Sanderson finished it off. He's lined that up, hasn't he?
He didn't finish Silmarillion off. Christopher had to do it.
In the grand scheme of things, and this is getting no joke, but like if George R. R. Martin never actually finishes it off, they'll probably give it to James S.A. Corey, who does the Expanse books. Because I mean that's a pen name for two writers, but one of the writers behind it is George R. R. Martin's editor.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense. A lot of people saying that online. I've seen it. It makes so much sense, and they'll probably just copy the series to make it easier and get the book out and sell millions.
Yeah. And Stig will be
Is that it for the news?
That's it.
Excellent. Let's crack on with the Nexus. Biggie, have a rest. Stig, what have you been up to this week?
I've been doing a fair few things this week. I'm going to bring some to the green room as well, because I'd like to just chat about them. But there's a few things here I just want to touch on. First off is I started The Umbrella Academy this week, season 3. It's out on Netflix. It's really good. The opening to this new series was absolutely excellent. Just kind of did something which out of nowhere and was a lot of fun and just had us proper laughing at what they did. It's a really good show. Everyone should check it out.
I haven't seen any of it yet.
I'm not really aware of it.
It's a lot of fun, honestly. It's like sci-fi drama, kind of time loop kind of stuff, like time travel and all that
book
stuff.
From an author I don't really know.
It's Gerard Way.
Fucking My Chemical Romance, Gerard Way.
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder I didn't recognise him. I'm like, who's this guy? Oh, right. I know he's a comic book nerd. That makes sense. Oh,
honestly,
okay.
you should check it out. I know you like to binge a show, so it's really bingeable. Definitely give it a go. But the reason I've only watched 3 episodes, but I just want to touch on it because I brought this up to our Discord. This show stars Elliot Page, and they actually have his character in the show transition from Vanya to Victor this season. And I just wanted to give a big shout out to Steve Blackman and the show creators and runners to how they handled that, because they just did it perfectly. It's done so beautifully, so perfect. You look online and see the outpouring from people at how well they handled it in the show.
Good.
If you're not bothered about spoilers, I did post it in our Discord. You can look it up online. They have about 3 scenes where he kind of comes out to his family, and it was just the way they handled it was great. Blackman said that he worked very closely with Page and glad to work in Victor's storyline in a respectful manner, and yeah, they did it perfectly.
Into it,
brilliant.
Yeah, so I just wanted to
highlight
highlight
the
that,
way
really.
it happened with the X-Men, right?
Oh, don't.
I don't know what that is.
She was outed, or he was outed back then.
Yeah. It wasn't very good.
Done. No.
Yeah. No, this was perfect. So the other thing, I watched a film called Good Luck to You, Leo Grand. It stars Emma Thompson and Dara McCormack. This is a film where Thompson plays a retired school teacher whose husband passed away a few years ago, and after having a very unfulfilled marriage sexually with him, like she's never experienced an orgasm, he was very kind of lay on top, pump, squirt, and very prudish about things, never wanting to try things. So
Pump, squirt is our episode title.
She hires a sex worker and has a number of meetups in the hotel room to kind of fill her desires and do things that she's always wanted to do that her husband never wanted to do. And honestly, this film was great. It's funny, quirky, really touching. It does a real fine job of kind of touching on the sexuality of a woman in their later years. Something you don't see in films.
I'll tell you now really, as well. Emma Thompson is talented and extremely beautiful.
Yeah, she's so good in this. Like, it doesn't rush Thompson's character into sex, so it isn't a case of she's hired a sex worker and they have a meetup and they have sex and then a relationship blossoms between them. Like they take it slow. She's very nervous about it, and very awkward. And she starts to talk about her family and his family and trying to get to know him more. And it's very stagey. It's set just in a hotel room and a hotel bar. They're the only two settings, so it's very much like it could have been a stage show. But yeah, it's really good. Like both leads have great chemistry and bounce off each other really well. And like I said, Thompson plays it perfectly. It had me laughing out loud on several occasions. And massive kudos to Thompson, because she must have taken some courage to film some of the scenes.
Oh yeah, national treasure.
Yeah, it's a film about sex, so there are sex scenes and nudity and stuff. So
now we're talking.
Yeah, but the main thing I want to talk about this week is Triple R, a Indian Telugu language epic action drama film.
I know of it.
Yes, so this is on Netflix. It's a film. It's set in the 1920s, where the British government ruled over India, has a tyrannical governor and his sadistic wife. They visit this tribe called the Gon tribe, and they basically forcefully take away Mali. It's a young girl with a gift for singing. And the tribe's protector, Bahim, heads off to Delhi in search of the missing girl. And Officer Ramaraju volunteers to catch Bahim in order to get a promotion. This is a fictional tale, but it's using real-life revolutionaries. So they're the central two characters. They are real people in real life, but they're telling this story. And it's just fucking amazing and absolutely insane. And the best way to describe this film is just the word epic. Like everything, it's storytelling.
It's got Ram Charan in it, and he's fucking known for that.
He's set pieces,
badass
action. There's a few dance sequences in there. It's just pure joy, honestly. These are right at the start of the films, but the way they introduce Rama is he's just like battering the shit out of this huge crowd who are trying to get into a police station. And he just fights all these people off, and it's done in such an over-the-top way. And you're like, there's no way that this one man would be able to take on all these people. But they do it in such a way where you actually believe, oh yeah, he is taking on all these people and managing to survive. And then the way they bring Bahim into the film is he fights a tiger.
Yeah.
It's in the trailer. It's in the promotional video and stuff.
Yeah.
And you know that scene where Captain America holds the helicopter and pulls it in, and his muscles are all there's a moment in this that rivals that with Bahim. He's just this Adonis, like just holding this tiger, and his muscles are like just popping everywhere. But that kind of gives you the setups. Like, I know what kind of film I'm going into here.
Yeah,
like I have a few quibbles with some of the pace. It's a 3-hour long film, so it's not short. It's a mixture of English and Indian language, so you do have some of the stuff is just English people speak English, and then you have subtitles for the other stuff. And yeah, a few quibbles. The pacing, the British actors, even Ray Stevenson, who is the governor, they're all terrible. I don't know why. They're just all really bad. Some of them trying to play it really straight. Some of them are really caricature-like.
I can be hit and miss, right?
Yeah.
I watched the making of this, and it's to do with the fact that the director wanted the English people to be more pronounced and what was it worded? It's like dumbed down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean they do a really good job of showing how fucking awful the British are.
Yeah, they are
really fucking bad. Like they're the villain of the piece, and rightly so. Like the woman, right. Catherine, the governor's wife, she's fucking awful actress, but awful character. But yeah, it's really weird, and they all sound like they're slightly dubbed over as well. So it's the sound with the English actors it's really weird. But Behemoth is meant to be this kind of spectre, and he's coming into Delhi. He's going to tear the soul out of Delhi, until he rescues this girl on this mission. Yet to establish the friendship with Rama, they kind of go off riding around on the bikes and dancing and playing games and doing things. Like this feels really weird, but you understand why they do that. Like, I'm not trying to ruin anything there. That's kind of the setup. Really, it's like these two meet and they form a friendship, and they have to show with why they become so close. But it kind of distracts from the main mission, and it's a bit weird. But other than that, everything else is class. Even the over-the-top set pieces that clearly defy the laws of gravity and physics. There is a literal gate crashing scene, and holy fuck, it's like nothing I've ever seen before. It is incredible. This scene is... I didn't know what they were doing or how they were going to do this, and when something happens, I was like, fuck me, that's amazing. It's so good. Yeah.
Question for you. So with, when you had this massive spike in Korean films and TV shows, personally, I haven't seen, as far as I'm aware, any Indian movies. I know Bollywood's been around for a long time, but do you think, because I've heard about this movie, a lot of people are talking about this, do you think this is going to spike a bit of interest into people now checking out other Indian movies?
Yeah, no, it could do. Like I say, I've been on the forum I go on, and people are listing other films for people to check out. And
I don't know any. I really have no interest.
I do know that Bollywood's probably worth more than Hollywood at the moment, isn't it?
Bollywood's huge, and it's not. From my kind of understanding from Bollywood is you only ever see those kind of funny clips of stuff. Like the Superman, I think it was a Superman one Biggie showed us, or the one was killing someone with a banana or something.
That was really old though.
Really old. And that and song and dance numbers. Yeah, whereas this does have a song and dance number in it, but it's within the context of the film. They're at a party, so it makes sense.
Yeah,
it isn't like a typical musical where all of a sudden they just break out into dance. The songs, by the way, in this they're all subtitled as well, so you can read along what they're going on. But they're so good, like. The action set pieces are going off, and there's these songs going off, and you can read what they're saying, and it's telling the story of kind of what's happening and stuff, but within the song, but the songs are class. So yeah, I think there's I'm going to butcher this pronunciation. Is it Bahubali? Yeah, that's like a huge, big film for Indian film. I'd really like to watch them too.
You'll love it. Yeah. There's a few. I'll send you some that I've watched. I watched it I watched a lot when I was doing music at college, because obviously big theming on music in there, and there's some absolute bangers. Yeah, I love how colourful Bollywood films are and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you can't always mistake Bollywood with Indian movies because there's sometimes quite different beasts.
There's different dialects and languages and cultures and stuff, isn't there? Yeah, so I understand that.
You can tell there's a difference when you watch one or the other.
Yeah, I know I'm kind of throwing a blanket over it when I say Indian film, but it's very uncultured in that film genre and films from
India. You're
dipping
your toes in, mate.
Yeah. Like I said, it's 3 hours long, but there is a point in the middle where you could perfectly stop this and go back to it another night if you wanted to watch it in 2 parts.
3 hours is nothing, mate.
Yeah, I like to watch films all the way through, but yeah, Triple R, it's on Netflix. I would really seek it out. It's like no action film I've ever seen.
Just with the name title, does it mean anything in the movie, or would that spoil something?
I can't remember what it is. It tells you.
It was something.
Yeah.
Just curious, really. It's just an unusual title, isn't it?
It starts off and says the story.
Triple X isn't.
It's the name of the character.
Yeah, is it though?
It says the story, and it uses the R in the story, the water, the fire, and uses the R out of them. But that's not what it stands for. It then does kind of give you what the 3 R's stand for, and I'm blanking on what it is, but it's not really that important. But I did try and look. But yeah, great. Watch that. Watch both those films, actually. They're both great.
Nice busy week, Stig. I'm sure you've got more to chat in the green room. Now, Gadget, you've been on holiday.
I have.
You've been up to, man?
Been on holiday? I've been up to plenty. Like giving you the quick rundown of things I've done. I went to the cinema to see Doctor Strange 2. Meh. Just a big old pile of meh. Some good ideas.
Still in it.
Just not done well. Just shame because the stuff that was done really well was fucking amazing.
Did you like the? All I'm going to say is the music fight.
Yes, loved it. That was fucking brilliant.
Yeah, that's what when me and Stig were talking about when we first saw it the week it came out. That's what we were alluding to. There's a bit in it that Gadget's going to love, and it was that bit.
Yeah, absolutely adored it. I liked the red cloud. I thought that was fucking brilliant.
Red cloud, yeah.
There's some very Raimi moments in there, but you can also see that the studios kind of pulled them back on a lot of stuff, which is fucking annoying.
Yeah, they're like
it's on
Raimi,
Disney Plus now as well.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Do you want to know one of the things that Raimi wanted to do?
What do you want to do? He's
put this out. It's not in the film. It won't be in the film. You know, is it Baramodo? Yeah. So this version, the one from Doctor Strange 1, was going to have the villain. Won't spoil it. The villain go to Doctor Strange with his head in their hand.
Ooh!
Wow. And throw it at his feet. I was like, oh, no wonder they cut that out.
I was going to say that would be a bit much for the MCU. Oh, I wish people would let Sam Raimi be Sam Raimi more.
Yeah, I do.
Next thing I want to talk about, it is that time of the year where it is Summer Games Done Quick has just started today. So I'll just give
Is it that time again?
Yeah, 6 months since the last one. So I'll give the every 6 month thing where I say go watch it. The runs I'm looking forward to this time are Halo Infinite in an hour and 25.
Game of the year.
A lot of grapple hooking.
A lot of grapple hooking. Tunic in 40 minutes. Advance Wars in an hour.
What?
Devil May Cry on Dante Must Die difficulty and getting all collectibles. An hour and a half.
Bollocks. That's not going to work.
How do these people do these things?
That's not going to work.
Monster Hunter Rise. So this one, they call it Magnamalo %, which is basically they get to the point where they've beaten Magnamalo, which kind of ends the base level story. In an hour and 15, which again, no idea how they're going to do that one.
That's just mental.
Half-Life Alyx in 50 minutes. Is
that the VR one?
That's the VR one.
It's such a precise game, though.
Yeah.
Oh, these people.
Yeah, but in Half-Life Alyx, you do spend a lot of time just fucking around with the environment.
You do.
So if you are just mainlining the mission,
I bet in this Game's Done Quick, Half-Life Alyx, they ain't drawing dicks on whiteboards, are they?
no. Sitting and playing the piano for 10 minutes like I did.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if they did fit that in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just going to do a cheeky dick.
and the last one, which I'm really keen to see, it's the last one of the week. So this is like Sunday morning, super early. Elden Ring, all the remembrances. That's beating all like the god tier enemies or the demigod enemies in 2 hours.
Now, I did beat Elden Ring. What's it called? New Game Plus 3. So I'd already beat it twice before that in 5 hours, and I thought that was impressive. But I was over leveled, and I knew exactly where to go.
Yeah, but
this is mental.
You probably also didn't do all of the demigod bosses.
No, did I heck? I just mainlined it for the platinum.
Exactly. So 2 hours for that. It's a fucking massive game. So I'm really excited for that. So it's twitch.tv/Games Done Quick, and I've already ordered the t-shirts and everything. So yeah, I love this show.
You love a bit of it. You love it.
I do. I love speedrunning, and I love watching them. It's something I wish I had the time to dedicate to learn. I'd love to learn a speedrun, but and there's a Metroid Dread speedrun at some point during the week as well, and I do enjoy watching that speedrun because when someone's very good at Metroid Dread, it's very fun to watch.
I really need to play that game. I really need to play.
Oh, mate, it's superb.
Picked my Switch up and started playing another game, and I was like, Metroid Dread, and I started playing Still. And it's only a few hours short. So.
And actually, literally, just as we're talking now, one other run that I'm interested in, I'll obviously have to go back and watch the VOD because we're recording. Original Mass Effect in 1 hour and 35.
Fuck off.
No way.
It's a 40-hour game.
How the fuck do you do that?
I don't know.
By skipping.
Well, the run category specifies no Mako glitch because there is a Mako glitch that lets you teleport around the galaxy. So it's doing it without that. Can. So
it's 4 hours just to drive that fucker.
You only have to actively drive it for the story. I think it's 3 times in the game.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. No, they're all side things, aren't they?
Yeah. The main thing I want to talk about is an EP that's come out, and you know how we're big on talking up our community and their achievements in life. So this is an EP released by one of our community members, and
Collusion.
Oh yeah, Collusion. Full transparency: the bass player of the band is my best friend.
Here we go.
This is the new EP from Cadence Noir, and it's got a great fucking title. Return of the Electric Bin Bags.
Nice.
So if you haven't heard Cadence Noir before, they are a group from Nottingham. They are a 5-piece band who describe themselves as folk punk goth with a slightly romantic edge to them. And they are self-described loony lefties who shout about politics all the time and cause an absolute fucking riotous noise. I've been following them for years. Since they've been around for about 10 years, just in and around the kind of Nottingham area. And they're fucking amazing. It's just this weird kind of blend and mash of different sounds. They're one of these bands that have violin players. They all have different looks. There's a lot of leather in this band. I would heartily recommend it. But I'm going to give you a clip of the opening track from the album called Statuesque.
To the stage, Christ knows we've been lost for days. Locked down as the statues fell, merging amongst new ways. So hey, this is a merry-go-round. Don't try to make a sound. I know that you want to, gotta get lost to be found. Oh, oh, oh.
One thing I've always loved about Cadence Noir is all the songs sound quite different. So, like, the song you just heard, Statuesque, is what you would consider their most typical sound. It is folky, punky, it's got a nice kind of sound to it, got a nice little melody. But there's tracks on it. So there's The Donkey and the Elephant, which is taking the piss out of American politics, which has one of the grooviest kind of Muse-sounding riffs that I've ever heard. Black and Decker is this kind of very sweet-sounding song with like a lot of kind of echo to it. But something Nuclear War is, and I was talking to Tom, the bass player, about this, was their attempt at doing thrash. And it sounds like if Testament had bought a violin instead of a guitar.
Now you've got
fucking incredible. And the last,
I've just listened to that. That was good.
Yeah, and the last track on there, Washing Up, is about. It's kind of like it's like a mournful but yet slightly angry song about the pandemic. About like the people that were lost and stuff like that. First time I listened, I had a little tear in my eye at the end of it.
Oh man!
Absolutely fantastic band. So it's a 5-track EP. You can get it on Spotify, whatever. But if you go onto their Bandcamp, which I'll link in the show notes, you can pick up the CD version of it for $5, and I'd really recommend it because Cadence Noir are just fucking brilliant. And I want to kind of talk this band up. They've played Download before. They won Metal to the Masses. Battle of the Bands competition. They beat metal bands. They're not metal bands. But yeah, they are that good. They're brilliant. So everyone should go and listen to them.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. Gonna do. They're on Spotify, yeah?
Yeah, they're on Spotify. And all like Amazon Music and all that kind of thing.
Of course, we will outro the Patreon with one of their songs.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that can be arranged. Maybe one of their songs from one of their earlier releases is called #FFBB, which is just the lyric in the song is it's not kiss kiss bang bang, it's fuck fuck boom boom.
Story of my life.
Yeah. That one might work for it. But yeah, go listen to Cadence Noir, everybody.
Gonna do. I like the band name as well. That's cool.
Oh yeah, very gothy.
Very Mighty Boosh.
There's an element of booshness to them.
Yes, I like it. Cool. Keep resting, Biggie, because it's my turn now. I'm gonna let you off till the end. I've not done this much this week because, as you guys are aware, my internet was down and it was a sad, dark 3, nearly 4 days of no internet. That's terrible. I had to watch a DVD, guys. A DVD.
Physical media and you?
I've got loads.
Yeah,
Look at that behind me.
Yeah, I haven't. I've only got Lord of the Rings, so I had to watch that again for the 9 millionth time. Oh,
you're going to tell us about it? Yeah.
No, I'm not reviewing the Lord of the Rings on this podcast. It's all right. No, I'm going to review a film that I managed to catch when my internet came back.
Jewelry, innit?
It's a film. Yeah, it's all about jewelry, innit? Yeah, this is a film called Burnt from 2015. It is now available on Netflix. So, the synopsis. Adam Jones is a chef who destroyed his career with drugs and diva behaviour. He cleans up and returns to London determined to redeem himself by spearheading a top restaurant that can gain 3 Michelin stars. So, me watching a chef thing, that's already good. Already a red flag, but yeah. So, this film is directed by John Wells. He did a lot of the best West Wing episodes and stuff. The stars, this for a lineup. Bradley Cooper, Sienna Miller, Daniel Brühl, and bit parts by National Treasure Emma Thompson, Uma Thurman, Alicia Vikander, Lily James, Omar Sy, and Matthew Rhys. That's a good fucking cast.
That's a very good cast.
Has anyone seen this, Burnt?
Heard of it?
I've heard of it, and I've heard of the reviews for it.
Yeah, so, the film in a nutshell, this is a character-driven story about a man fallen from grace, as the synopsis said, attempting to get that spark back doing what he loves and not letting anything get in his way. It's got a bit of a Whiplash vibe to it, but it ends up just being another Bradley Cooper is damaged story. Do you know that Bradley Cooper damaged story that we always see? Bradley Cooper's so damaged. It is enjoyable, but it's not as good as it could have been with cast that they had on display. It's a proper 6 out of 10 for me. And the reason I started watching it, because I heard on a podcast, I can't remember what podcast it was, but someone was saying that Bradley Cooper in Burnt is his best role he's ever done. Now, he's not my favourite actor in first place. I liked him in A Star Is Born. I liked him a lot better at that broken man in that film. I think he's fantastic in that.
Yeah.
But in this kind of story's been done better. Like the chef film called Chef. That's a good film.
Chef's
Jon
awesome.
Favreau. Yeah, that's a lot better. And the one with Stephen Graham that came out. Was it last year?
Boiling Point?
Was that? Boiling Point. Yeah. That was even better. But it's got that kind of thing. It's got that kind of vibe to it. If you like Boiling Point, you'd kind of be into it. Yeah, I don't know why I was pointed towards this. I kind of, it's not. I wouldn't waste my time. It's only an hour and a half film. It's not a, you know what I mean. It's not a lengthy one, and the people in it are good. He's good, but I don't know. There's just, it's too obvious. It's an obvious film. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You know, you can already predict how it ends right now.
Yeah,
because it's Bradley Cooper being, oh no, I'm so good looking, it's awful, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
On my day, really.
Yeah, I kind of recommend it as in, it's a nice, there's a little bit of tension to it, and it's an hour and a half, so it's not going to upset you. It's literally less time than an episode of Stranger Things nowadays, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's on Netflix. I think it's number 4 in their little charts. It's not terrible. 6 out of 5. If you're really into food, maybe even a 7 out of 5, because there's some
7 out of
great
5
shots. 7 out of 10. Sorry. But there's some really nice shots of like posh food. You know, food where it doesn't fill you, you're just having it for the taste, that kind of Michelin food. Like, so we'll get a McDonald's after this, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's all right. But that's all I've really done, other than read books and watch Lord of the Rings. Cause The internet was down. Do you know what? In my house, it was as if the electric was off, mate. It was.
Outside, to experience the world.
No!
So
Graphics are shit.
So I guess this makes you a 21st century digital boy. You don't know how to live, but you got a lot of toys.
That's exactly how I am. I kind of coped. It was the kids, man. Have you ever seen a kid that can't watch YouTube?
There's a reason I don't have children.
Oh, it's horrendous.
It'd be on that. It'd just be on my phone. Can I watch it on your phone? Can I watch it on your phone?
Yeah, they did for a little bit on mine. I'm like, come on now. Daddy wants his phone back. Oh yeah, fucking shite. Biggie, round it off.
So I'm at that conundrum, which I'm not happy about, is that I've basically caught up with a lot of TV shows, and I'm now at the end of this break where they've decided to break it in the middle so that we have to wait a month or however many weeks for the next lot. So I've caught up with Stranger Things 4. I've watched Better Call Saul.
You've got to wait a week
finally.
for Stranger Things, mate. Come on.
But since it's been a few weeks since I finished it, the boys. Oh my god!
Say nothing. I'm not caught up yet.
Mate.
Last episode.
Last episode was it's one of the best ones they've done. It's
a gold standard.
It was
insane.
So good. Yeah.
And for those that are into the comics, I always wondered if this would ever appear in the TV show, and they fucking have. And we're not spoiling it, we're not going to say anything to those who haven't seen it, but it's mental.
That wasn't even the most interesting thing about the episode for me.
No, it's just bit after bit after bit. The whole.
It was just,
It's a proper. I assume, is this the end until? I'm not sure if there's any more episodes.
No, next. Now there's 2 more episodes.
Oh, that's fine. But yeah, it's mental. But the other thing that I have finished is Kenobi.
Yeah, let's deep dive. We have a little spoiler warning-ish kind of thing, because we're not going to spoil the story, but we'll put one in.
Okay, I'll put the
Have we all watched it?
We've all seen it.
I haven't seen it, but I'm probably not going to.
He's not asked.
I'm kind of like Star Wars'd out.
I'm all Star Wars done.
Yeah,
it's good. I've liked this one, to be honest.
Plus, someone on Reddit spoiled something from the last episode for me, and now I'm actually mildly miffed.
Right, so spoiler warning's up.
Yep.
If you want to avoid spoilers for Kenobi, skip ahead to 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 30 seconds.
I'm saying it now, Biggie. Before you go on, I'm saying it now. I'm back in on Star Wars after this. I'm back in, baby. I am back the fuck in.
I think with the and that was the other thing I fucking finished was Boba Fett. Fuck me. But yeah, it's been real hit and miss with these spin-offs, but I think Kenobi's definitely a hit. We've spoken about it before, but McGregor's really good as Kenobi. I think he's really got into the role. He certainly is the main focal point of this show. I think he's done really well. And he's surrounded by a decent cast. I think everyone else that's been brought in for all the different roles, whether they're for the Empire
Little
or
Leia. She's a sweeter.
Yeah, I just think, and the weird thing that I realised is that the kids that they've picked kind of do resemble people that are going to be older, which I think is good, because sometimes, when they get kids to play actors when they're young and they look fuck all like them.
I am sorry though, but the little kid that's playing Luke Skywalker, he's crap. He's just crap.
Acting wise, he's not brilliant.
He's looking at camera.
He was only in it for about 5 minutes total, though.
Yeah, luckily, but the little Leia, wow. She's
it's played a bit with the legacy. It's changed a few things, and things don't make sense and all that kind of crap. But yeah, you know what? It gave me the Star Wars feels. I've really enjoyed it. Each episode has been pretty good. Vader's there. It's just.
Is it?
But yeah, I think the dynamic is there. Hayden Christensen's actually doing well as Vader this time round.
Do you know what? People complained about Vader being too fan-servicing and powerful. And to me, I'm like, he's kind of not shown to be like this in the original trilogy. I think that's just kind of the time that it was filmed.
And the fact that he was an aged man.
Yeah, but they need to show why he's so fucking good, and this show does. Like, if you thought that scene in Rogue One showed how awesome he was, There is a fight. Better. There's a fight in this series where he just takes the piss, and you're like, "Fuck me, Vader is."
He's doing it deliberately, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's doing it deliberately.
He's toying with people, and like, he's so fucking good.
Do you know my favourite thing about
by everybody else in the Empire? You know, you don't really see why that is until now.
Apart
my
from
favourite thing about new
Tarkin, he's the only one that didn't fear Vader.
Yeah.
My favourite thing about new Vader is his one-handed lightsaber style.
Yeah,
he's just going dash, 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 like he's got a rapier. It's fucking fantastic, and then that's the only good thing from the prequels is when you see Anakin Skywalker when he's sparring or fight, he starts doing that a little bit. So it's like whoa, and that's when he always gets in trouble. It's like you're being too impulsive. You're doing it one-handed. Stop it.
But I'm very conscious. I don't like how are you going to watch this gadget, or can I go into some details?
No,
right.
go into spoilers.
Right. So what this show does so well for me was Vader was one-handed, and it almost I don't need to use both hands. I can defeat you with one hand, and I can do force stuff with this hand. At one point, he doesn't even need a lightsaber. He wins a fight without a lightsaber. That's how fucking good he is. And that final fight with Kenobi, he has to resort to doing two-handed. He has to resort back to the teachings of Kenobi and when he was younger because he can't deal with Obi-Wan getting his power back and becoming his equal. And I thought it was brilliant. And the moment, because Vader's always got, when he takes his helmet off in Return of the Jedi, he's got a scar on his head.
Yeah.
And he doesn't at the start of the show. And then the final fight, they make sure that they get that in there. And they have this scene where his face is showing and it's skipping between Hayden Christensen's voice and James Earl Jones' Vader voice. And it's just the lighting.
It's his eye. You can only see one of his eyes. Yeah. The emotion he's got. And his voice comes through and the one of my favourite lines now in Star Wars, brilliant. Like I'm going to say the line now, and you'll see it all over the internet, where he says, "You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker, I did." And Vader saying that about himself, I was like, "Ooh, you cold bastard!" And that's when Obi-Wan's like, "You've gone. That's it. We're not friends. You are dead. Anakin Skywalker is dead." And people were saying, "How is this going to link up with A New Hope?" But in A New Hope, Alec Guinness does say he was killed by Darth Vader, and Darth Vader says it to him, so it tracks.
He didn't lie. He never lied.
He never lied. He never lied.
From a certain
like I was saying about the light in there, where he says, "You didn't kill him, I did," and he brings his lightsaber up and it lights his face up in red.
Yeah.
It's like
it's just so good.
It's just so good. There is a few shit things in this series. I'm not going to lie. The main stuff between Vader and Obi-Wan, I really loved. The Reva stuff. Some of it was some of her decisions and the reasons she was doing things didn't make sense. I like the character, I like the Inquisitors and everything, but
she never felt full baddie to
her
me.
Reasoning for going after Luke at the end made fuck all sense. And because she's not in anything else, I thought that the last fight would be Kenobi and her, and he would have to kill her. But and then the people complaining, "Oh, he doesn't kill Vader." Well, he can't kill Vader because we know
how can he?
He can. But also that line where he says, "Last we met, I was the learner or something, and you were the master."
Yeah,
something along those lines. He says, "Now I'm the master." Yeah, and my taking away from this fight is he still wasn't the master. He thought he was when he went into that fight. He lost to Kenobi, and he's like, he was still the learner. He still wasn't the master. He's now gone away for the last 9-10 years, trained harder under Palpatine, and he is now a Master Sith Lord. And then he sees himself, now I am stronger than you. And that's the way to get around that line.
He easily beats him, doesn't he, on the Death Star? He easily beats him.
Well, he lets him kill him. So
lets him kill him because he's going to be stronger than you can possibly imagine.
But it does make you laugh when you see that lightsaber fight now in A New Hope, where they're just kind of touching tips.
But it's like in New Hope, where there's that scene where Vader feels the presence of Kenobi, and he goes, "I haven't felt this presence since." And then he just looks up for a second, and you always wonder what he was referring back to. But I think it's now.
Now you do.
This fight, it's that moment.
That was the last time they met until the Death Star.
I'm assuming so anyway, but I think it was really good.
It ties it all up nicely. I don't want another series. I'm not bothered about another series.
People are saying that we need another one too. I'm like, no, we don't. What's it going to be? How he got his hair white and cut it? You know what I mean? Who fucking cares? Who cares? There's 19 years difference.
It was a nice story.
The flashbacks are used well, and I
they did well, yeah. And they rounded it up, I think, as well as they could do in terms of Leia's connection to him and that and stuff like that, and why Luke doesn't know who he is, and why Vader didn't go after him even after this. It's all kind of.
I liked seeing Alderaan
nice line
stuff as well. That was nice, weren't it?
Well,
we've got to see Alderaan, the Leia's home.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because that gets blown up.
You see the memes of the couple, Leia's parents. They're going, "Oh, such a lovely couple. I hope they end up being all right."
They did.
I did see someone today go. It was a tweet, and it said, "Oh, bring back for series 2, bring back General Grievous as the bad guy." And someone had quoted it, goes, "He literally blew up." Like,
yeah,
I know that Star Wars has a habit of bringing people back these days, but he blew up. He's dead. He's gone.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Oh, one last thing. I know we could go on this forever. It's not Kenobi spoiler cast. Why didn't he kill Vader as well? Because he's a Jedi, and a Jedi doesn't kill a defenseless man on his knees.
Yep.
And someone tried to tell me that, well, Anakin killed Dooku. I was like, Anakin was already
what happened to it?
He was already on his way to the dark side, and he did that at Palpatine's. Palpatine said, "Do it." Like, he was already on his way to the dark side, and look what happened when he did kill a defenseless man. So that's why he didn't kill him.
In the whole Star Wars canon we've ever seen, Jedi's only kill clone troopers and stormtroopers in defense.
Or in defense if necessary. Not a man
they
like...
kill droids mainly.
Yeah. and people say, "Oh, but then Vader goes off and does that and blows up planets." Do you not think the Empire would have just done that without Vader?
Yeah, of course there was.
Exactly. So
he didn't build the Death Star.
Yeah, he just found a new apprentice and made a new Sith Lord.
Yeah, Star Killer. Remember him?
Yeah.
In fact, if anything, Vader wasn't impressed by the Death Star.
No, he didn't like it.
He called it the mechanical terror or something like that.
Yeah, he didn't like it. He wasn't. It's only because he was scared of Grand Moff Tarkin that he let it happen, and everyone's scared of him.
It's Peter Cushing. You got to be scared of Peter.
Cushing. You're gonna be. Oof. But yeah, it's really good.
I'm glad I got that off my chest.
You can release the plasma wall of spoilerdom now. Is that all you've done this week then?
That's it, dude.
Excellent. We're going to go on to the main topic now. And I'm going to lead this. We're going to do double acts. Those of you that were listening last week, we'd planned double act for years. No, we hadn't. We did it off the cuff. So we did double acts.
You'd never know with the edit.
Yeah, you'll never know with it. Because we've got something special planned that you'll hear about later. So, yeah, the main topic, we're doing double acts in media in general. So it could be music, could be games, could be TV, could be comedians and stuff like that. I want to know, because I've never really operated in a double act format, and I don't know if you guys have, if you've got a little sidekick anywhere, anything like that. So I just want to know who your favourite double acts are, and I want to start with Gadget.
Gadget, ooh. Well, see, I want to talk about a double act. They're a comedy double act, a musical comedy double act.
Mm.
They're not the greatest band in the world, they're just a tribute. It is Tenacious D. Jack Black and Kyle Gass.
Is that his real name, Kyle Gass?
Yeah.
That's brilliant. That's a really good name.
Or Jables and the Rage Cage.
Yeah.
God
damn it, Cage.
I was doing a bit of reading up on them. I didn't realise that they met in 1986.
Wow, they've been an act since then.
They've been an act since the mid-90s, but basically they met and started making music together in 86.
Wow.
Yeah. So Tenacious D formed as a band in the mid-90s. They did like the comedy circuits around LA. They got friendly with David Cross from Arrested Development, who helped them secure meeting talent agents, talents against that, and they ended up getting
like things like the Groundlings and stuff like that. That kind of scene.
Yeah, sort of they just did a lot
comedy scene.
Yeah, they just ran around the scene effectively in LA. And they ended up, before their first album came out, they had a 3-season run on HBO of a TV show of Tenacious D.
Really?
Yeah. And like, if
I've not seen that.
It's middling to okay. It's not brilliant. But when you watch it, you get like a lot of the kind of the proto songs. Like you see, like there is like an early version of Tribute in that.
Oh, wow.
And it's done as a sketch where they're they're hitchhiking down a long and lonesome road, and the devil shines a shiny demon.
To Georgia, isn't it?
Well, yeah, basically. And they and it was after they did 3 series of that, and then they got the record deal, put a full band together, and released their self-titled debut album in 2001, and it is a wall-to-wall banger. There's not a bad song on that album.
Is this the black CD cover with them and the devil behind them? Is it that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about that album is it's got like comedy skits in it, which I think I just never like them in albums.
Got that inward singing.
Yeah. Or the fucking drive-through one and shit like that. Like and I never like skits. Like I never liked them on Eminem albums and stuff like that. It's just I always find it stupid.
Actually, there is one I think on there which makes you laugh. Where you think Carl's trying to say something, and Jack Black just keeps going, next song. He's just
it was the one note
song. It's just I thought that was just I thought it was quite funny.
Yeah, I remember when I first got that album. Like I'd heard Tribute on Kerrang all the time.
Mate, it was on after every song.
It was. I mean, quite rightly, it's fucking amazing. But like that's that album opens with Kielbasa, and I remember giggling it because it starts kind of with a skit, and it's like fuck, we better write a new song. And Kyle plays a chord. He goes, nope, bad start. Don't like that. Really, terrible start. And he plays another one, better, closer, warmer, and then he hits like, I think it's an E minor, is it? And that's it. And then they just start playing this song about dicks, and it's really fucking funny.
Yeah. Is this the one with like with Corellia, kick your ass?
Yep.
Is it that one?
Yeah. So
I always forget which is which with them.
Yeah. So that one's got like Karate. It's got Double Team, City Hall, Rock Your Socks Off. So for that,
Tribute,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 6.
Yeah. Give it up
gently.
For me, give it up for me.
Yeah. I heard that in years.
So there's 2 singles off that first album. So there was Tribute, which is, they'd forgotten the greatest song in the world, so they wrote a tribute. They're actually... I thought for the longest time that they were tributing Stairway to Heaven because the chords to it are the same as Stairway to Heaven.
It ends in the beginning chords of Stairway to Heaven as well.
But they're not. It was Metallica's One that inspired them to do it.
Really?
Because I was reading about it, and they've said this in interviews, and basically Jack Black considers that to be the greatest song of all time, and he was in conversation with Kyle saying it would be amazing if we could record something like this, and Kyle pointed out we would never be able to write the greatest song in the world, but we can write a tribute to it, and that's where the concept for the song came from.
It is such a clever idea. It is such a clever idea for a song, though, isn't it? Like, we're going to do a tribute to the greatest song, but in the song, we aren't going to tell you what that song is.
I don't want to insult people's intelligence in any way, but I reckon a lot of people don't realise that is what the song is saying. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to insult people, but if you ask what's tribute about, they'll be like, it's just a song about the greatest song in the world. I'm like, but is it that song? No, it's not. Do you know what I mean? I don't think people would know that.
Well, it didn't actually sound anything like this song.
Exactly, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
And that's
didn't they do that song on the film as well? The actual song that they're basing that off of.
Beelzebub. That was Beelzebub. So I was going to get to that. So they released 2 singles off that. They did Wonder Boy as well, which was also fucking incredible. And then
that is good.
Their second album was based the soundtrack to their film Tenacious D with the Pick of Destiny, and the film was not good. Really?
Nope. I know people that love it.
No, it was not good. It had some good moments.
I bet Candy loves it.
I bet she does. She loves it.
I like the opening song. I like Kickapoo, where you had like Meatloaf and Ronnie James Dio in it.
Yeah, Dio in it. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, I haven't watched that in years either. Fucking hell.
And The Government Fucking Sucks. It was also pretty funny. But then you get the ending song, which is so that the story of the film is that the Tenacious D come together and they need to find the Pick of Destiny, which is a broken off demon's tooth, to help them reach the status of rock gods.
Didn't they want to win Battle of the Band to pay the rent?
Yeah, basically.
That's all it was.
And they end up actually summoning the devil, and then you get the battle that they talk about in tribute. And Beelzebub is not the greatest song in the world, but it's fucking brilliant.
It's Dave Grohl, isn't it?
Dave Grohl's playing the devil, yes.
Because he plays fucking horn.
Well, because he plays the devil in the original tribute video.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
After this is one of the best qualities I like of the band, because after that it was about 6 years till they released their next album, which was Rise of the Phoenix, and about half the songs on that are taking the piss out of how poorly the Pick of Destiny did.
Oh, wow.
Like they are just ripping into themselves.
I do like the title track, Rise of the Phoenix. That's a little epic, that.
Rise of the Phoenix is good. The Ballad of Hollywood Jack and the Rage Cage is my favourite off that one. It's a 5-minute troubadour-style ballad about Kyle losing his mind because he's jealous of Jack.
One I do like as well.
Roadie as well. Roadie was really good.
Yeah, Roadie's good. And there's what's it called? That one.
Oh, I can't remember what. I know what song you're talking about.
Throwdown.
Yeah,
that's the one. Throwdown. That's a good tune.
So yeah, just
I had to sing it then in my head.
I love Tenacious D. I think the music they make is incredible, and like even just taking away the comedy stylings of it, the actual way they compose music and put songs together, none of their songs have choruses. They're all telling a story.
No, they don't, do they?
No, not a single one of their songs has a chorus. They're all really intricately written, and they're all like kind of musically very profound. Like there's lots of really interesting compositional work on it, lots of interesting writing work. They are just really fucking good musicians. And Jack Black as a singer is incredible.
How they sound musically, they sound a lot like when The Who started taking LSD.
Yeah.
It's got that vibe to it when they stopped being mods.
Yeah, no, yeah, I get that. Yeah, it's very kind of rock opera, experimental.
Yeah,
they get some proggy moments, and yeah, it's just brilliant. And like, you know, they can put like a 9-minute long song like City Hall out where they're talking about just how pissed off they are with City Hall and just destroying the entire world, living in a bunker and ruling as two kings and then killing each other. You know, that's the level of escalation
and there's that Death
of their
Star
songs.
Song as well. Remember that one, Death Star?
Yes,
that's a good one.
So yeah, go and listen to Tenacious D, everybody. You'll either like it or you'll hate it. I think they're one of those bands, but if you get on with it, and if you haven't heard Tenacious D by now, God, where have you been living?
It's Jack Black.
Come on, man, the man's a legend.
School of Rock.
School
all
of
the
Rock's a
other
good film,
things.
actually.
Jumanji.
I'm aware of them.
He's
It's not my thing.
Your thing,
Not
God.
your thing. Not your thing. It's not your. What is your thing? What's your double act, Big E?
Okay. So yeah, something completely different. So around about the time that I was into my artwork, I was at art college, all that. So going back many a year, I discovered the comic strip Far Side, and very funny, fantastic, brilliant. What's his name? Greg Larson, Gary
Yeah.
Larson. Just incredible. There's another one that I also discovered around this time. It's Calvin and Hobbes,
Oh, I love Calvin
which
and
was
Hobbes.
a daily American comic strip created by cartoonist Bill Watterson. It was started from November 1985 and went on till December 1995. It's also been cited as the last greatest newspaper comic. It was conceived when he was working an advertising job, which he detested. He gave the idea out to several different places. It was eventually picked up by Universal Press Syndicate. It follows the humorous antics of the title characters Calvin, a precocious, mischievous, and adventurous 6-year-old boy, and Hobbes, his sardonic stuffed tiger. So Hobbes' dual nature is a defining motive for the strip. To Calvin, Hobbes is a living anthropomorphic tiger in his eyes, whilst all the other characters see Hobbes as just basically this little stuffed toy. Watterson said, "It's not a doll that miraculously comes to life when Calvin's around, yet neither is he a figment of Calvin's imagination. Calvin simply sees Hobbes one way and everyone else sees Hobbes the other way." And it has this beautiful split way of this little boy in his own little world, and then when he wants to get out of his world into his imagination is when Hobbes appears. And it's just fantastic. It's very sweet, very funny. It's also got a lot of subtext. Covers things about political figures at the time, contemporary events. It does environmentalism, public education, philosophical quandaries, opinion polls, you name it. It covers so much. It's so fucking clever for a comic strip. It just subverts your way of thinking, the way that every time he does something in the imaginative world, the artwork takes a real kind of almost perfectly done. It's really well drawn. When you're back into Calvin's real world, it's a bit more cartoony. And it's just fantastic. In fact, the characters were apparently based on where did I find this? It's apparently based on two philosophers, a philosopher and a theologian. Sorry. So Calvin was basically supposed to be believing in predestination, whereas Thomas Hobbes observed life that is nasty, brutish, and short. Hobbes had this dim view of humanity, which was a counterpart to whatever Calvin was saying as the devil's advocate. Although it was set in the contemporary United States, suburban, Calvin's frequent flights of imagination took it in a different direction with his long-suffering parents, his classmates, there's a bully in there somewhere, and his neighbour, which is Susie Denkins, a sweet little girl. Hobbes often expresses the romantic feelings that he has for Susie, and to Calvin's disgust, they also start the gross, get rid of slimy girls club, and have meetings in the treehouse. He creates these imaginary characters that he wants to play himself. So we had Spaceman Spiff, which is this brilliant parody that he narrates in third person as well, and his characters off fighting aliens and planets, and just always crashing his plane, his rocket. You've got Tracer Bullet, which was a hard-boiled detective. He says that he has 8 slugs in him. One's lead and the rest are bourbon. Excuse me. He's got a pushy dame, which turns out to be his mum. There's a hired goon, which is his father, and all sorts of things. It gets all very silly. One of the other favourite characters is Stupendous Man, and he plays a superhero, wears a mask and a cape that his mum made, and he's obviously a bit like Superman. But he has nemesis like Mum Lady, which is his mum, Annoying Girl, which is Susie Durkins, Crab Teacher, which is Mrs. Wormwood, and Babysitter Girl, which is obviously one of the characters, Rosalind, who looks after him. But yeah, basically Calvin just creates havoc throughout all of the little comic strips. There's a start, middle, and end. And they're just beautifully done. Whether he uses cardboard boxes to transmogrify himself, create clones in his own little world. He also uses the box as a kiosk, and he sells brilliant things to people like suicide drink, a swift kick in the butt for $1, or a frank appraisal of your looks for 50 cents. It's just really cheeky. He also does Calvin Ball, where they create a mini sports event between the two characters, and basically there's no rules whenever they play Calvin Ball. Every time they play it in the comic strip, the rules are completely different. It never makes sense, but it's always fun.
It's like your
Calvin
quizzes,
also
man.
uses... Huh?
Is that your quiz?
What was it? Yeah. Snowmen feature in there. So obviously when America has all its horrible winters, he always is building snowmen, but he likes to create this really horrific art where he has like 2 snowmen, one standing up eating a snow cone, and there's another snowman on the floor with scoops taken out of his chest with an ice cone in it. He does things like a car crash with snowmen. It's just really dark, but really funny.
My favourite one of the snowmen ones is it's one that actually doesn't feature Calvin at all. It's his dad walking up the driveway, and Calvin's made snowmen like look like soldiers saluting him, and he's just walking up going, I don't think I should encourage this.
It's brilliant. It's so good. And the influences obviously based on something like Charles M. Schultz's Peanuts. So it's a very similar kind of framing. But yeah, it was just fantastic. It's so beautiful, whether it's in black and white or later on it's in colour. The comic strips, if you can find the collections, there's either the complete Calvin and Hobbes, or there's various different books. I think there's something maybe 8 as a collection. But they're fantastic. At the height of his popularity, it was featured in over 2,400 newspapers worldwide, and in 2010, returns to the strip were in more than 50 countries, and nearly 45 million copies of the books have been sold worldwide. And at one point, it held the original record for the most money paid for an original comic strip, because they're really, really hard to find. It went for $203,000, beating the previous record held by Peanuts Original, which was at 90,000. Sadly, Bill Watterson himself was a bit of a recluse. He relocated to New Mexico, didn't want any of the limelight that came with him being this famous comic strip artist. And the final strip ran on Sunday, December the 31st in 1995. It was in colour. It depicted Calvin and Hobbes outside in a freshly fallen snow, carrying a sled. Reveling in the wonder and excitement of the winter scene, Hobbes says, "Everything familiar has disappeared. The world looks brand new." Calvin agrees and says, "A new year, a fresh, clean start." Hobbes remarks about the fresh snow. "It's like having a big white sheet of paper to draw on," Calvin adds. "A day of possibilities." Getting ready to sled down the hill, Calvin exclaims, "It's a magical world, Hobbes, old buddy." Calvin and Hobbes sled down the snowy hill, Calvin saying, "Let's go exploring." According to a critic speaking in 2005, they left a hole in the comics page that no strip has ever been able to fill. And I just think it's so funny. It's just spot on when any of the subject matter they're covering. If you've never seen it or read it, just find it.
I just had to Google it. It's the first time I've ever seen those things in my life. I've never even heard of it until you mentioned it. That's genuinely.
Never seen those bumper stickers of Calvin taking a piss wearing a football shirt.
No, I've seen Garfield.
I've never really read them. I've only seen them kind of pop up on the internet. But
I've also never read a newspaper in my life, so that helps.
I read them as the collections. I never saw it because I think when they came out when I was aware of them, it was obviously in America and it wasn't really featured over here at that point. But
just Stryker and Hagar the Horrible, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they're just so funny and sweet and intelligent for a comic strip, and they just make you smile and wonder and think, and because everything's from his viewpoint, it's just the innocence as a child, and then there's obviously the other stuff that's thrown in there for a bit of fun as well. It's just brilliant, and Hobbes is fantastic. Just there's scenes where you just see him as a stuffed, toy, just sort of staring like that, and then in the next picture he's like jumping on Calvin, attacking him and stuff for fun. It's just really sweet. It's the camaraderie, the relationship between Calvin and Hobbes is because the tiger's in his imagination. Although he questions whatever Calvin's thinking, he never berates him or has a go at him, because at the end of the day, it's in his imagination. Why would you create something that's going to be nasty to you? So he's always kind of, at the end of the day, they always agree to disagree or be friends. It's so cool.
That's lovely.
Just please, if you've never read it, check it out.
I am. That's awesome. Yeah. Brilliant for bringing that to me. I never expected that.
I was just having a quick look. Because these things always tend to end up as films or something.
Oh, yes.
So I had to have a look, and he just basically said, I had no interest at all in ever turning it into a film. The closest you'll get is a documentary called Dear Mr. Watson from 2013, which is about an exploration of Calvin and Hobbes. Yeah. So if you are interested, then that's available.
I haven't seen it. I'm going to check that out. But he said one thing I saw in an interview was that he admired the world of animation now, and he is aware of Pixar.
Yes.
But he said that it's still not going to happen. He doesn't feel like it would work as a medium other than in a comic strip. So
he was also quite forward about saying he's never merchandising it. Like there's any merchandise you see of Calvin and Hobbes is a knockoff. None of it's official.
Yep, they're all fake. He literally did a couple of calendars, an official kids reading book, and there was something else I think he did, but that is literally it.
This is probably why I don't know of it, because it's not thrown in with Garfield and stuff. Yeah. Interesting, brilliant. Cheers, mate.
If you like your comic books and stuff, check it out. Seriously,
yeah, of course I do. Yeah, like you say, if there's a big collection of it, absolutely, I'm always up for a bit of flight of fancy. Cool, thank you. Brilliant, that. Heartwarming and lovely. Stig.
So, Double Act I want to talk about. They first met each other in 1963. They worked together with John Cleese in 1966 and then broke out as stars in 1971 with their sketch show that ran for 97 episodes. Of course, I want to talk about The Two Ronnies.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the greatest comedy double act ever. I find
it's a lot of beating.
Yeah, I just find them absolutely hilarious. A bit of research for those people who don't know who they are. I don't know why you wouldn't. Maybe Americans probably don't know who they are as much, but The Two Ronnies got their big break in 1970, because they filled in unprepared and unscripted for 11 minutes during a technical hitch at the BAFTAs and impressed the BBC bigwigs so much that they offered them a sketch show. So that's basically how they got they had a chance.
They were known separately before then, weren't they?
They'd done a few things separately, yeah.
Like sitcoms and stuff.
Ronnie Barker was doing things, and then he kind of met Corbett by a chance meeting.
Yeah.
And so I'm 36. I wasn't even alive during the height of their popularity. But obviously, one of the good things about
you met him well. You met him at a work still, didn't you?
One of the good things about the BBC is that they make sure that these things are remembered. You know of people like Morecambe and Wise and Monty Python, Blackadder, because they like to remind you of all this stuff that's been and gone, don't they? Like it crops up a lot.
Syndication works different in Britain as opposed to America, where America, to be syndicated, it has to have like 100 episodes. In Britain, it just has to be liked. That's it.
18 million was their height, the amount of people that had tuned into them. The highest ever
massive,
got, which is massive in the 70s and 80s. Yeah, that's huge numbers.
There's only 4 channels though.
Yeah, yeah, but not everyone will have had TVs.
That's true. That is absolutely true. Yeah, we all had to go to the bottom of the street to watch the telly.
So we're just over 50 years on since that debuted now, and yes, some of the language and some of the sketches are very dated. But I think one of the things that's really great about the two Ronnies is, despite the odd word and things here and there, they were never offensive, never insulting.
They weren't blue, were they?
Yeah, never punched down, never did jokes that were just, you have to be clever to get this joke. It was just pure joyful comedy. It makes me laugh. I sat and watched some sketches this week and I just sat there laughing. Like, even though I know the punchlines, even though I've watched them and I've seen them before, it still makes me laugh.
Folk handles for folks.
It's the most overplayed sketch show, but when you watch it, it's so fucking good. But their show, they used to do opening and closing spoof headlines. They did a serial sketches that ran through. So it wasn't just sketch shows, like small 5-6 minute sketches. They had like
a variety show, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had like a serial running through it. The Phantom Raspberry Blower of Old London Town.
Oh, that was so funny.
You can go onto YouTube now and watch the whole of it, like kind of crammed together. It's about just over an hour long, but that's one of the best things about YouTube. The ability to go and just pull up these clips whenever you want. They did. Ronnie Corbett used to do ramblings, monologues, sat in his
monologues on his chair were
in his chair.
Fantastic.
Comedy musical finales. Like I said, this show came out. I wasn't even alive when this show was like popular, and yet I've seen these and I've watched these reruns and things like that. And they did a show, didn't they? Was it late 90s or early 2000s where it was just them two and they just re-showed old clips and stuff.
Yeah, before Ronnie Barker died, wasn't it? Not long before.
Yeah. But a few that you should check out. You should check out Swedish Made Simple, Four Candles.
Four Candles.
The Sweet Shop Crosswords, Crossed Lines, which is ridiculously clever. Yeah. The Courtroom Quiz is incredible.
Oh, yeah.
You got a guy trying to get a confession out of somebody, and it's done in the manner of a quiz show. And the judge is he says, what did you have written down, Judge? And the judge pulls up his bit of cards. It says bullets or something on it, and he's like, yes, bullets for the win. And it's
yeah, it's really good.
The cross line sketch, I have no idea how they managed to rehearse that.
Oh no, it's so good. It's one man. There's two men at payphones having completely separate conversations.
Yeah.
One talks and then the other answers,
it?
And it syncs up, but the conversations sync up perfectly, so the lines just bounce off each other and it works so well. Chic in a grocery store, you could look at that as being a bit problematic these days because of the he's obviously browning up
Chic.
And everything, but it's more of a play on the English language and spelling. He can't say tongue because the way tongue is spelt you don't pronounce the U. So it's someone coming in
Tongu.
saying, I want some tongu. Yeah. And it's more about a misinterpretation of how the English language is written down, as well as
Stupid.
Our language is mad anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
My personal favourite is the Mastermind sketch.
Oh my god, it's so fucking
It's
good.
genius.
I watch that every month.
It's so good, and I'm pretty sure this is done in front of a live studio audience as well,
It is.
because they actually have to pause at one point where the crowd is laughing and
Pissing
clapping so
themselves.
much.
Yeah.
And the Mastermind sketch is his specialist subject is answering previous questions.
It's so good. It's so good.
But it's the way he managed it. The script is perfect, so he is every answer that answers the previous question answers the current question, but in a comedic way. And it's like, what's the difference between a trade unionist and someone else? And the answer to the previous one is one's an ass and one's a something else.
Yeah.
Like it's so good. Like you really
Ain't
have
two
to
types of donkeys, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and you really have to go and watch these. I'm not going to try and do them because I
Did you know
cannot do them justice.
that skit was done in one take?
Yes,
Which
One
just
take
shows
in
they're
front of an
fucking
audience.
genius.
yeah,
Like you, Stig, one take.
and they don't. That's where I learned it, mate. That's where I learned it.
Someone's where you got it from.
And they don't ever seem to cock up when they do it either.
No.
Even though it's hilarious, they manage to keep a straight face. They keep it like they're just so good at maintaining like a straight face and keeping it. Their delivery,
Corbett's good, but Barker's face, man, just his
Yeah.
stoic presence with his face is the look on his face. is
They
incredible.
both have the
He's so good.
accolade, and no one else has done this since or before. The accolade to have Queen Elizabeth II visibly in tears at the Royal Variety performance. She's wiping her tears away because she's laughing that much. She never fucking laughs.
That's
So
incredible.
there's something in that.
Yeah.
It's mad, innit?
They I have to go and try and find that, see if it's on YouTube.
It is, mate. It's
it's
in
their
their
delivery.
greatest moments.
Their attention to details, their reactions off each other. It's just so special. Like the
It's
genius
how
about-
one of them's a beast and one of them's a tiny little man
Yeah,
as well.
So they play off the fact that one's large, one's tiny.
Yeah.
And one of the best things about them as well is that they're so good at it. Wasn't always like, oh, Barker's a straight man and Corbett is
No.
like just the silly stuff. They can switch it between them. So one could be the straight man, one could do the funny roles. They could switch it. They could both be straight. They could both be funny, and they just made it look effortless. And it's just so well written. When you talk about these two though in the writing, you obviously David Renwick, you should always give a shout out to him because he did a lot of the writing for their sketches. It's always worthwhile like remembering him because he did a lot of stuff for them. But yeah, seek out. Just watch that list I've watched. The Mastermind, the Four Candles
so
one
good.
is just, it's overplayed, but it is hilarious. When he asks for the O's and he goes and gets a hoe, and he goes and gets a hose, then he gets the pantyhose. He's like, no, O's, like O's.
O's.
And then he says,
The
have you
numbers.
got any P's? So
Yeah.
and he's like, whoa, like trundling off and like gets the ladder out again, back up the ladder, brings
Garden
him over,
base.
gives him the peas. He gets out the peas out the box. No, peas in a tin. It's like,
It's so good.
yeah, like the ending of that, the punchline at the end doesn't quite land for me. It's a
No.
bit, but
It's the journey, not the destination on
Yeah.
that sketch.
but there's a little fun fact about that is apparently, I hope this is true because this is the internet and everything. Ronnie Barker wasn't as happy with that ending either, and originally wanted a female assistant to come out and ask what sort of knockers.
Oh, no. I like that.
Yeah. So,
Oh, that's
and
good.
apparently, I think it's at Ronnie Corbett's funeral as well. The procession leading him down all held four candles, like they had four people holding four candles as they walked down.
Handles for folks.
Yeah, but it's just them two.
They all sound like
Consid-
Biggie in that sketch as well, both of them.
Considering they're not of my time at all, it's just classic, timeless
I love
comedy.
them.
And I don't see how people can not find them funny.
Because the thing is, they both did separate things as well. Corbett did Sorry, I think it was a TV show. Sitcom,
yeah, and then you've got Porridge and Open All Hours.
Porridge and Open All Hours. I love as great as they were, I still agree that they were the best
together. Yeah. Corbett did the one Ronnie, didn't he? After a bit, after where he's doing sketches with other people. There's a really good one.
That wasn't terrible either.
There's a really good one with Harry Enfield. Yeah. It's very similar to the Four Candles, where he's in a grocery shop, like a food shop.
In a shop.
Yeah, and he's like, my BlackBerry doesn't work, but it's a BlackBerry, an actual fruit BlackBerry. He's like, what else problem have you got? And they do all this computer jargon, but around fruit and veg. Yeah. And it works really well. But the difference in that sketch is Harry Enfield is struggling like fuck to keep it together.
Yeah.
When you watch
probably his hero as well.
When you watch it, he's proper grinning. And Ronnie Corbett plays it so straight and doesn't break. And yet Harry Enfield is there with this big grin on his face, you can tell he's trying not to laugh. So, yeah, it's a really good sketch as well. But yeah, the two Ronnies, like one of my favourite double acts ever.
Yeah. I agree, mate. They're fantastic. And I don't know how I'm going to follow that with my silly answer. But here goes. I should have put you last. In 1998, I was 12 years old, impressionable, emotional, and a loner. Nothing has changed at all, really. But back to being 12. It was the first time I truly saw a friendship rise from adversity and stress, a friendship that would last a lifetime. Some say the biggest gaming double act since Mario and Luigi. Most say, who? This unlikely duo met at an office party in which one of them was being harassed so much he pissed himself, and the other was busy playing with remote-controlled missiles. That's right, everyone. I'm talking about the canonical ending, double act, and founders of the nuclear proliferation non-profit organisation Philanthropy. You guessed it. Love can bloom on the battlefield. Solid Snake and Otacon.
Fucking hell.
My favourite.
Of course you fucking went there.
I went there. I've gone for it. I
was literally going to make a joke. Oh, but this is Metal Gear when you said 98. It fucking is.
Fucking course it is. So, for people that don't know, Solid Snake, real name David, is a lab-created clone of the greatest soldier to have walked the planet, John Doe, a.k.a. Big Boss. Otacon, real name Dr. Hal Emmerich, is the nuclear scientist, anime-obsessed, unlucky-in-love man in the chair for Solid Snake.
Whiny fucker, that's what he is.
On the first game, he is. Now, this blossomed into one of my greatest hetero life mate double acts in video games that I've witnessed. Those two were completely in love with each other in a platonic way. And you've got to agree, if you've played these games, they're madly in love with each other, but not in a sexual way. From the first game when they meet up, Solid Snake doesn't like Otacon at all, does he?
Well, no, because he finds him in a locker pissing himself.
Which is just how cries about everything. The whole game he's just crying about stuff.
Yeah, can love bloom on the battlefield? Well, it turns out he falls in love with everyone and then they die. But what happens, and because there's two endings to that game, and the canonical ending is that you escape Shadow Moses with Otacon, which is the bad ending, believe it or not. And
I don't think it matters either way, because like by the time you get to Metal Gear Solid 4,
it changes.
Everyone's alive anyway.
Forget all you knew. Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I think the relationship really, really blossoms in Metal Gear Solid 2, where it's been a few years, hasn't it? And now Otacon's not a baby anymore. He ain't crying anymore. He's the man in the chair. He is fantastic. He's quite ruthless in it. They've got the coolest gaming handshake you've ever seen. You remember that scene when they go doof, 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 and they're doing the 5-minute Hideo Kojima bro handshake, and they give each other a massive hug and a little kiss.
I'm gonna look that
it's so cool though. It's so cool. It got to the point where me and my best mate, we started doing it, and then we realised we're never going to get girls if we do this in public. Because it is a bromance before I knew the word bromance. Even at a young age, I was like, these two really do love each other, and it's so beautiful. And then then you don't see him in Metal Gear Solid 3, obviously. There's parallels to it, so it's not the same, is it? And then Metal Gear Solid 4, there's Solid Snake ages quickly because he's a clone and stuff like that. And Otacon's age normal, and he's become the younger man now, and but he's also quite a father figure to Solid Snake, isn't he? Because he's looking after him. He's like picking him up when he's falling over and telling him not to smoke cigarettes, which he's done from the beginning. And it's just kind of beautiful. And the bit where, like, do you remember the scene in Metal Gear Solid 4 where he's going down the microwave and you've got a big fight in the background happening and Otacon talking in your ear, and oh god, it's just so beautiful. And then the ending to Metal Gear 4 is the main crux of that game is how those two, the only constant thing those two have ever known is their friendship throughout everything, and it's quite fucking beautiful. And I've not seen it since or before to that extent in a game. You see it in films and TV and real life all the time, but it's a proper pure friendship, and it's quite beautiful. Like Stig says, it starts from such an annoying place because Otacon's so fucking it's so annoying. It's so bad.
I just looked up the handshake. I had to, and they do this little handshake, and it's got somber theme music in the background,
and the parrot
like,
flying in the background,
and then they hug. Yeah, and you see the comments here, like proof that love can truly bloom on the battlefield. Otacon was more of a brother to Snake than his own twin.
Yeah.
Raiden just stood in the background like, damn, I want my own bro handshake.
It's more than brothers. They are lovers, like platonic lovers. It's fantastic.
I'm trying to remember the mechanics of the game. If you're in first person mode and you look at certain objects, does Otacon ring you, or do you ring him and then he comments on what you're looking at? I can't remember which way it works.
That starts on number 2, doesn't it? That starts on 2.
Because you catch,
especially
you're
that little photo thing you can do with him, where you can take photos. Like, Snake, we shouldn't be taking photos of breasts and stuff.
Yeah.
Don't put it in the game, then, Kojima.
Yeah, you big perv.
Well, yeah, but then he also writes in the kind of weird quasi-incestuous relationship Otacon has with his sister.
Yeah, and also the fact that his family fell apart because he had an affair with his stepmother and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's fucking mental. He's
stepmom.
He's stepmom. He was the first.
Kojima always ahead of the game.
But there's like the main, like, if you and I know Gadget might have done it. If you read the Metal Gear Solid 2 novelization.
I haven't gotten that desperate for something to read.
Mate, the first one's bad enough. The second one, there's a full 3 chapters of before the game where they're on holiday together. It's fucking fantastic. And it's got Otacon telling Snake, like, I don't mind putting lotion on if you want me to. I don't mind. It's like, you fucking want to fuck him.
I've just got the scene of them two skipping down the beach holding hands with like, people, let me tell you about my best friend. And they're playing in the background.
That's exactly what it is. It makes me feel like Kojima's never had a friend and he's just created one in Otacon. He likes all the cool shit that I like.
Was Kojima really Otacon?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, Kojima wouldn't have had a friend until he met Jeff Keighley.
Yeah. Now, they are the Otacon and Snake of the real world. I don't know. It's just something about this double act that I really love. And he's actually quite a useful friend. I mean, you're never going to play as Otacon. I can promise you that much in the series. But on the later games, when it's not Snake and Otacon, when you're other characters, it never hits that high that you get from it. Do you know what I mean? You don't get that.
Yeah. You definitely don't get it in Metal Gear 5.
No. It's
just
bring
fucking,
it back in the balloon.
It just gets a bit grimdark in that, and you've got fucking Revolver Ocelot and the guy with the arm, Kaz. Yeah, and then
Kazuhiro Miller.
Yeah, those just like being really grim, like, boss, you got to do the thing.
This is the Afghan war. We can't be joking right now.
Skullface is moving around.
Yeah, you can put a balloon on a tank and sing, woo! And into the sky.
There was a tone issue with Kojima's games, isn't there?
Proper. This is why I really like Metal Gear 1 and 2, because you don't care about being daft. Kissing posters. You could kiss posters. And then Otacon rings you up and goes, Snake, what are you doing? Don't kiss them, kiss me. I just think it's a beautiful double act, and clearly one of them's more in love with the other. But yeah, it's just nice, and I just want listeners to watch that handshake. Stig enjoyed it. It's fantastic. It's brilliant. This is not hyperbole. It's just fucking badass moment. And it's totally fucked up. Because, by the way, that's just after his sister's been killed.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's crying in that scene.
Yeah. Oh god, it's
likes
so
a good
good.
Cry.
He does like a good cry, and pissing himself. You do see his dad Huey in later games. He's not a good person. He's an absolute horrible bastard. But yeah, I just like Snake and Otacon, and the fact that they're named Hal and Dave from 2000 Space Odyssey.
Yeah,
which is fucking cool. And Kojima wants to direct films. Like, I just want to see Otacon and Snake film. You know what I mean? That's all I'm after. It can be a comedy, it can be a romantic thriller. I'm not bothered about the spy stuff. I just want to see those two on screen constantly.
Suppose you could do it in the style of The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, where it's a bromance / spy film.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Imagine. That'd be so fucking cool. But yeah, they're my picks. Not as deep as or as good as Two Ronnies, but there you go. I want to know if our listeners like any double acts or anything like that. And Gadget, you're back off your holiday, so you're doing it now.
Yeah,
Stig were doing it in one take for the last couple of weeks.
Oh no,
I heard the rap.
You did, didn't you?
I also heard Planty last week attempt to do it and him struggle as well. So I'm gonna see if I can do it in one take.
Genuinely though, I love the feedback from Zenis, but that was a long feedback.
Yeah, I read that email.
You should have been here for that episode.
I would have struggled like fuck. Planty did well. There'd have been so many edits in that.
It'd been all over the shop.
I think it helps with it helped with the 40 because I have some 40k knowledge, so I know these names. I think that's
What?
So speak of the devil, Xenos is starting us off. Much more concise this week. He's saying the two Ronnies and Morecambe and Wise are the obvious mentions for me. Obviously, some of the sketches are very much of their time, but if you cut out the inappropriate stuff, they're still comedy gold decades later.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kurt came in with me and Pete Beckett.
No.
Got some neck on that boy, ain't he?
I've already said with those opinions that they've got on films.
Never watching those two
won't
again.
Stand the test of time.
This is one I can't believe I didn't think of it. That Efkin guy has said Rick Mail and Aid Edmondson.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Especially Bottom.
Bottom was fucking brilliant.
I watched a clip someone had uploaded on YouTube of them on stage, and it was Rick Mail couldn't remember his lines.
Oh yeah.
And Edmondson is just milking it to fuck, and
he's destroying him for it, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just taking the piss out of him, and you can see Rick's kind of got like asking for the next line so he can jump on it and go it, and he's just there, just crosses his arms, and he's just like, nope, go on.
If you really want to see how them as a double act, how perfect they were, watch the episode of Bottom where they get stuck on the Ferris wheel.
Yeah, I love that one.
That is literally one scene, constant. I don't know how many shots it took, but that is two perfect comedians in sync with each other. It's fantastic.
Like Bottom gets a lot of stick for the fact that, I mean, it is very crude humor throughout it, but it's delivered so perfectly. Like it's almost, it's like scientific precision in their ability to deliver comedy.
It is precise, and it does. The whole thing looks like a stage play.
Yeah.
Deliberately, it's fantastic.
But if you can get hold of the live show DVDs, my God, some of those.
That one on the beach is good.
On the beach, there's one I can't remember which show it's in, but it's Adrian knocks Rick off his game because he says something with an unexpected flourish, and it gets a bigger laugh than Rick expected. and you get this 10-minute thing where Rick's trying to get the crowd back on his side so he can deliver the next line.
That was when they were in Southampton, that one.
He was in Southampton, yeah. Adrian Emerson is just, again, like the other one, he's milking it. Absolutely milking it. It's so funny. And like people have started uploading them onto TikTok, so every time I scroll around, I'll see like a bottom live outtake on TikTok, and I'll sit there and wet myself laughing for 3 minutes. It's so funny.
You should also watch Guest House Paradiso, which is underloved, that film. I really like it, mate.
I didn't like it as much as Bottom.
No, it's not as good as Bottom, but I really liked it, and that probably is available for Americans to watch.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Moving on, Ray has said, after all these years, the screen duo of Woody and Buzz of Toy Story is still my favourite. I appreciate their friendship because in a period of nearly 14 years, it morphed and matured with time into one of the most natural manner I've seen in any media. It started from a camaraderie forged in Crisis in the first film, then turned into unconditional care and help in the second, followed into something close to family bonds when they faced the great uncertainty in Toy Story 3, until they bid each other farewell when life goals diverge at the finale. As new characters keep being added to the story, the physical interaction between Buzz and Woody were diminishing as the series progresses. However, seeing how Buzz giving out his hand to the incinerator and assuring Woody before he says anything at the carnival, I believe their friendship has long gone past the stage of needing any physical proof. In the end, I can only say many thanks to Pixar for creating this duo for a generation of kids and adults. We don't bring up the incinerator scene.
No, we don't.
Are you trying to make us cry?
I've just realised as well, Hideo Kojima based Snake and Otacon off Buzz and Woody. Every single beat is exactly that. That's absolutely crazy. Little fucking bastard. He's just ruined everything.
Yeah, Woody and Buzz are a good double act.
Oh, they're so good.
And also from those films, an equally good double act are the Potato Heads. As just a little comedy foil that come in every so often.
Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, yeah. Absolutely.
Last up, we've got Angry Kurt's genuine response. Which he said, Hi ME crew, it's got to be the legends that are the Chuckle Brothers. Chucklevision was a staple of my childhood post-school view, and it was suitable for all ages with its slapstick comedy. It was one of those few kids' TV shows which the parents wouldn't mind watching too. The death of Barry Chuckle a few years ago was probably the first celebrity death that hit me hard. They meant so much to me. I remember going to see them live at a seaside resort once too, and they were just as good, and I got to meet them afterwards. It wasn't like a meet and greet where you had to pay extra or anything. They just decided to sit and sign autographs for the audience on their way out. I picked up a Chucklevision Rubik's Cube that day too. Legends of British Kids TV.
I love them.
Yeah, definitely if you're a certain age, like the Chuckle Brothers were a big thing.
Did you know that the Chuckle Brothers is a little fact for it? I mean, Kurt probably knows because he's a Uber fan, but the other guy in the Chuckle Brothers shows, their other brother.
Yeah.
You know, the one that's always telling them off? That's their other brother, and he's never part of the Chuckle Brothers. It's such a shame.
Did you ever see the just after he dies, because they're big Rotherham fans, and he's in the stadium, and the fans from separate sides. So the Rotherham fans were shouting to me, and the away fans were shouting to you, and they were shouting to me, to you, to me, to you, back across the crowd to each other.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah, so lovely. Bless. Yeah, I really like Chuckle Brothers, and I mean, I don't know if it's the same series that Kurt watched when I was a kid, but Chucklevision, it's had a few different guises, hasn't it? It's changed, it's gone with the times, but the original Chucklevision that I used to watch, Chucklevision.
Yeah.
Fuck me, that was so good.
It's funny, isn't it, how their act kind of just stood the test of time, because it just kind of went with, we got too old for it, but then the next generation got, like Kurt's kind of
they got their own
age. They got their own Chucklevision, and it carried. They just carried on going. They never seemed to get sacked off because they got too old. Like, regardless of them growing old, they still did the same act, and it still got put on TV, and kids still really enjoyed it.
Do you remember Paul O'Grady, Lily Savage? Yeah. Paul O'Grady. Yeah. He had his own talk show for a bit, didn't he? And the Chuckle Brothers went on that, and they said they based their act on Charlie Chaplin, and they said, "How can you beat Charlie Chaplin?" And they were like, "Have two Charlie Chaplins," and it makes so much fucking sense.
Yeah, that's
what they've just doubled it up.
Yeah, and it's just really funny, quite innocent slapstick.
Yeah, 1987 to 2009.
Wow.
21 series, 292 episodes.
Get it watched. Fucking brilliant, Chucklevision. Love it. Excellent. Thank you very much, listeners. Right. So, as always, links to our extracurricular activities are in the show notes. Please join our Discord and check out modernescapism.co.uk. So, from next week, are you ready? Modern Escapism is changing. What? Not again. Every month for the next 12 months will be themed. The main topics we do will now link with these themes, and as it's a new month next episode, it will be the start of our first themed month, and it's going to be summer. Basically, wet, hot summer, summer vibes, hot boy summer, hot girl summer, all summer vibes. And we're going to do, the first one is going to be summer blockbusters, isn't it, Stig?
Yeah,
Where
boy.
we talk about everyone fucking loves a summer blockbuster, and the week after, we're going to do the great big Modern Escapism barbecue extravaganza. More details on that to follow, but it's going to be chaos. We'll release our 12-month schedule at the same time as next week's episode, or the next episode launches. So check that out on Twitter and in our Discord for a lovely infographic that Candy's created for us.
I'll stick it on the website as well. You'll be able to go on there and see what we're going to do each month for the next year.
It's exciting. It's making us feel like we can be quite creative. We're not limiting ourselves because we've chosen what the themes are, but it's making us stretch our imaginations further in a good way. Also, look out on the 9th of July. This is a good one.
Oh, yes.
It's going to be a good one. We will be live streaming our one-shot Alien RPG in full Technicolor, guys.
Yeah, this is
Dolby Surround. It's going to be incredible.
This is the belated birthday for Scorched Sheep, which was supposed to happen at the beginning of June, but because everyone's been so busy this last month or so, we kind of put it back. And we're playing one of the official Free League one-shots for it, which needs five players as well as the Game Master. So we have a special guest coming in. None other than Jack Chambers Ward from the Sequelizers. He's going to be...
I thought you were going to say Sigourney Weaver.
No, he's going to be roughnecking it with you guys, trying to survive in space.
That guy. I love him. I'm a big fan.
So yeah, that'll be on our Twitch channel on the 9th. And we'll send times out on Twitter and in the Discord.
Gadget, are you nervous doing a live DM, baby?
No. I rope you lot into it all the time. I can do it live.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Digital space, you can hear Gadget scream.
Yes.
Well, I have seen a Wayland Yutani hoodie on Amazon that I'm thinking, should I get it? But it's probably going to be 9 million degrees that evening anyway.
Probably.
See how quick we can wind Gadget up and divert from his story live on Twitch.
Evacuate Xenomorph out of the airlock. Beep, beep, beep. It's going to be crazy.
You can do that if you want. That's a way to win this particular scenario.
We've never done a thing like this before. We've spoken about it for a while, and I'm deadly looking forward to it. You can see live our actual dice rolls, that we're not cheating, and Biggie is that bad. So.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this one's interesting as well because the dice are different to D&D. You either pass or fail. It's not a D20. It's not a range of numbers. So it's going to be a lot of failures. And if you fail, your rolls then get worse after that because it adds stress.
Feel free to let us know in the feedback who you think's going to go first.
Biggie.
Yeah, Biggie. yeah, definitely going first.
I'm not playing my big, massive Goliath this time.
No, you'll be playing
Space Goliath.
I can't just run in there and batter the alien.
No. You're playing a nice squishy human.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to us next 12 months as well. Again, the infographic will be released. And I'm excited. I know my co-hosts are excited as well because we've put some thought into this and I think it's going to be magical. But to everyone that's not a patron, this is really the end of the show. So this has been a podcast and it's good night from him.
It's good night from me.
Good night from me.
Fucking hate, it took so long. Good night.
Oh.